Welcome into the Nesson.com MMA podcast. I'm Andre Kachaturin with... What's your title?
I don't know. That's a good question. UFC guy, Tom
UFC
Kitchen.
guy. Or,
Employee who likes UFC.
coder, you code, right? Like, what's
Yeah.
your official Nesson?
Well, I don't know if I want listeners out there knowing I'm a web developer, so they'll yell at me for our website. But
Nesson.com web developer / MMA expert Tom Kitchen is out here making his Nesson.com debut. Welcome aboard,
you.
Tom
Honored.
Kitchen in the studio. So Donald Cowboy Cerrone fighting this Saturday morning, I guess, on the Eastern time zone.
yeah, 8 a.m.
8 a.m. on the
Interesting time.
Eastern time. The fight's in Singapore, UFC
Yeah.
Fight Night Singapore. Fighting against Leon Edwards. Cerrone, again, not wasting any time getting back out there. He fought last time 4 months ago against Yancy Medeiros. A knockout victory, a big one for him.
It's funny for Cowboy that 4 months seems like a long time
Yes.
based on his history.
It does seem like a long time,
Yeah.
and we'll get to that in a second. I have some numbers to throw at you.
Okay.
But yeah, he'll be fighting
Interesting.
Leon Edwards,
Yes.
the Southpaw, 15-3.
Young guy.
This is probably Edwards' biggest fight of his career.
Easily. First time as a main event, I believe. First time fighting a legend, right?
Yeah, I think
Cowboy's
he's a legend.
now,
Absolutely
for
a
sure.
legend. He's never been a champion, but I do
No.
believe he is a legend based on his workload.
For sure. Fought for the title a couple times. Hasn't quite got over the hump, but he's gone on some runs. He's a reputable name. Dangerous dude.
Very dangerous dude, very active
Yeah.
dude. His 13th fight since 2015, which is
It's unreal, right?
in contrast, Leon Edwards, he's been pretty active too since 2015. This is his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ninth fight.
True.
So
2 in
you know,
2017. I think that's about average. Or maybe a little less than average. I think most guys try to go 3 or 4 times a year, but he's young.
Cerrone goes 4 times. Sometimes.
Cerrone did, I believe,
Yeah.
6 times in one calendar
It's
year.
unreal.
once.
Like
Madness.
early 2015, he had 2 fights in 15 days.
I believe he won them both.
He
too,
won
right?
both of them.
Yeah.
Set him up for his title shot against RDA,
Yeah.
which he lost.
Emphatically lost.
Emphatically lost.
Yeah,
Did
that
not
was brutal.
perform well at all. But
Which
here he
is-
is now trying to
Yeah.
position himself into title shot contention. He's still ways to go there in the welterweight class. This is
Yeah,
a
for
welterweight
sure.
fight against Edwards. What do you see in this fight going into it?
Well, like we'd said, for Cowboy, it's, another day at the office,
Yes.
really, right? I don't like the fight for Cowboy. I'm a huge fan. I've been following this guy for, over a decade now. I remember I watched his 9th fight. That's when I first found this guy, back in the WEC 10 years ago. He's now, I believe, this is his 45th fight.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this guy fight at least 30 times and going through all the anxiety with him. And I don't know. I don't like the idea of, I get why they do it, but I don't like the idea of these older, established guys fighting the young guns.
Right.
Obviously, it backfired on him very recently against Darren Till.
It did, yeah.
And I'm seeing, not Till and Leon Edwards they're not similar fighters, but I see too much of the buildup of the Till fight happening with the Edwards fight, where obviously Cowboy's always very lax, right? Like he's like, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll get out there and fight. He doesn't care. He says he doesn't study his opponents. He just kind of works on himself, and I don't know how true that is. Could just be some mind game type
Right.
stuff, but I see too much of the. I don't see enough fire from him where I feel more comfortable going into this fight. Although I guess recently he went off on him a little bit about Edwards kind of like, I don't know if snubbing him is the right word, but he kind of gave him a little heat.
It is interesting when I look at the numbers in this fight with Edwards and Cerrone. They're, fightmetric.com, great website.
Very
for,
good.
Has all the stats.
As good as it can get.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
There's nothing really else out there.
Exactly, yeah. Cerrone has the advantage in significant strikes and also submissions, but Edwards has a slight advantage in takedowns.
Yeah.
And the way Cerrone fights, he's a brawler.
He is a brawler.
So
he'll go wherever the fight goes. He'll take whatever you give him. Yeah, he's got a kickboxing Muay Thai background, but
and he can finish fights that way. He's had that.
Yep.
What was that devastating leg kick?
Matt Brown.
Yeah.
Switch kick to the head. KO.
Painful to watch.
He's got a few of those.
Do you see Edwards kind of trying to take this fight to the ground, though, because of Cerrone's background?
Well, so that's interesting. So Edwards is, like we said, he's a young guy, right? So he came up training MMA specifically. Right. He didn't come up from one one discipline rather, and then kind of like adjust his game for MMA. This new crop that's coming up, they've just been training MMA from the beginning. So they, in theory, are good everywhere, right? Like they've done striking, they've done grappling, they've done jiu-jitsu. So I think Leon is probably, I think, so Cowboy's notoriously a slow starter, right? A lot of his stoppages have been in like the first round. Like the RDA fight, for instance, just came out like a bat out of hell.
Yep.
Just brutalized him. Went to the body. Anthony Pettis, same thing. I know it was a while back, but I mean, presumably, even Cerrone has admitted he hasn't really changed. He's a slow starter. So I think Leon's probably going to try to turn the heat up in the first round and try to put him away early. If not, he could use some of his wrestling, maybe pin him up against the cage and do some clinch work and try to like wear him down. But I mean, Cerrone's got a great guard. He's got a bunch of submissions.
Yes.
Welterweight debut against Brazilian Cowboy,
yes.
Alex Oliveira.
Cowboy versus Cowboy.
Yeah,
in
great
Pittsburgh.
fight. Great fight. Got him down mounted, and then got the mounted triangle and finished him that way. So I mean, his guard's dangerous, so I don't know if taking him to the ground is the best way to get him out of there. I really think, and I mean, it's no secret. It's just you got to storm him. You got to storm him and overwhelm him, and don't let him get into second gear, as he puts it.
In Edwards' second career fight in the UFC, way back in April 2015 against Seth Basinski. Second fastest finish in UFC welterweight history for Edwards. It was an 8-second knockout. So he does have that in his resume, finishing fights early. However, since then, all of his fights have either gone the distance or they've been third-round finishes.
Yeah.
So
even like his latest fight against Sabata, that was last 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Like
waited the buzzer beater.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's tough. He's got the power, like you said. Cowboys got the susceptibility to the early round.
Yeah.
TKOing. So
I do think that Cowboy Cerrone, after those 3 consecutive losses, I think that kind of woke him up a little bit.
I think so too. I think you're right.
We look at him, you see he's like very nonchalant all the time, but that fight against Medeiros, he came out big.
Oh yeah.
And he's been kind of snubbing Edwards, as you said.
Yeah.
I think he's the underdog right now via OddsShark by plus 160. Yes, he's the underdog. I'm going to go with it. I think it's a good bet, first of all. Go with the experienced guy.
At the money, that's good money.
Yeah. Wow. I think he's going to win the fight too, in my head. Just when looking at the experienced guy who kind of woke up after those 3 losses. He has a significant strike advantage. I'm taking Cerrone in the third-round knockout. What do you have? Who do you have?
It pains me to disagree because of my love for Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Yeah. He's been an entertaining fighter forever, fan favorite, but I just think Leon's too young. He's too good everywhere. He's a southpaw, which Cowboy has historically had trouble with.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's tough. The only thing going against him, he's never gone 5 rounds. So we don't know how he'll do in the championship rounds. I think
experience is big.
Huge.
Yeah.
And if Cowboy can draw it out, if Cowboy can get past the first round, his chances of winning goes up dramatically.
I agree.
But if he can get through that, because it's going to be a blitz.
Yeah, it's number 11, Donald Cerrone versus number 13, Leon Edwards. Big welterweight matchup. But yeah, that's basically the biggest fight on that card. It's a very light card. I mean, it's kind of that lull period for the UFC as you head towards fight week, and then that big August card with Dillashaw Garbrandt. But it's going to be on Fight Pass, I believe, 8 a.m. So
get up early.
Big Saturday in sports. You got the World Cup going on. You got a big UFC fight. So get up early and watch the fight. Tom, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, yeah.
This is the NESN.com MMA podcast. Join us next time.